me tell you the most common misconception I think that we have when it comes to becoming that girl. We think that includes having the perfect morning routine, the matching workout sets, the aesthetic apartments, the expensive skincare products, and so much more. But when you really think about it, the women that we admire the most are not inspiring because of how they look. They are inspiring because of how they continue to show up for themselves. Because that girl is not an aesthetic, she's an identity. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Aligned Podcast, the space where we shift perspectives, reframe the way we think, and step into alignment with who we're truly meant to be. I'm your host, Octavia Darling, and every week we'll have real conversations that helps you reframe your mindset, overcome limiting beliefs, and create a life that feels good from the inside out. So grab your coffee, tea, your journal, or just your open mind and get ready to receive. Let's get into it. If I really wanted to become that girl, here's what I do. First, I would truly romanticize the life that I am building. This may look like creating morning routines that really aligns with that lifestyle. So yes, you wake up at 5 a.m., but what does that really look like? What does that feel like? When you wake up, do you light a candle? Do you put on your favorite robe? When you make your breakfast, is the food plated very aesthetically pleasing? When you go to the gym, what are you listening to? What kind of affirmations are you speaking to yourself? I have a friend who loves to romanticize life the same way that I do, and I'll tell you one thing that I like to do as far as romanticizing my life. So I have this wine and bath session, and that consists of a hot bubble bath with Epsom salt. I burn candles. I get my favorite bottle of wine and sip on a glass of it while I'm soaking in the tub. Sometimes I play classical music. Sometimes I listen to spoken word poetry, but I always have the lights off, and it's just a very romantic environment. This allows me to tune in with myself, to tap in deeper with my femininity, and to really just romanticize the moment of pause. That girl, she does not wait until she arrives to enjoy life. She enjoys life while she is becoming. So what does romanticizing your life look like for you? Because I really want you to think about how your dream life is built in those ordinary moments. The second thing that I would do is build routines that matches my goals. What does your morning look like? How do you prioritize your wellness? Are you the type of person that meal preps every week? Do you like to try new recipes? Oh my gosh. So something that I absolutely love to do is go on Pinterest to find new recipes. I love to cook. Now, if you're someone like me who considers yourself to be an elite home chef, but when I say elite, I'm talking about you are the type of person, you'll go to the store, get all the ingredients that you need to have to try this new recipe. You romanticize the moment of cooking the meal, the preparation, the plating. It's all an experience. Then you definitely want to tap into this. So what I try to do at least once a week, or I should say what I've incorporated into my grocery shopping routine, is to at least try something new. And I'm a Pinterest girly. So I like to go on there, look at different recipes, depending on what my taste is, and stretch myself to cook something that I've never prepared before. Even when I like dine out, because I'm a solo date type of woman, I love trying new restaurants and things like that. So when I go to new restaurants, I don't just go there to just eat. I go there with the intention of, ooh, what is something new that I can try that I've never tasted before, or something that I will want to prepare going forward. So I go there with an open mind. I take note of the flavors. I look at how the dish is prepared and things like that, so that when I go grocery shopping, and I'm just going to throw something out there. Let's say, for example, I've never made a mussel tomato pasta, right? And I go to this restaurant, I tried, it is delicious. I look up the recipe on Pinterest, so I know the next time I go to the grocery store, I'm going to get the ingredients so I can make that dish. So I romanticize the moment, the experience. Or sometimes I make sure that I buy me something special, right? It could be a new candle. It could be a new plant. It could be just something that allows me to romanticize the experience. And since we're still talking about grocery shopping, what I've started doing too is getting dressed to go to the grocery store. Hear me out. Before, and when I say before, I'm talking about a few years ago, I would just like throw on something. Let me just go get the grocery, and it would feel like a rushed experience. And I didn't like that, because I actually enjoy grocery shopping. So I wanted to create a moment. So now when I go, I like to either go first thing in the morning or later in the evening. And when I go first thing in the morning, I make sure I look my best. I feel my best. I take my time as I'm going through the aisles. I pick up the vegetables. I look it over. I look at new fruits and vegetables that I've never seen before. Maybe it's something I want to try, or I look up and see what kind of recipe I make with it. I romanticize the moment. Every routine that you have, no matter what it is, your morning routine, your wellness routine, work routine, whatever, your grocery shopping routine, every routine that you have is a reminder of who you are becoming. When it's related to becoming that girl, you got to be clear on who that is. What does she look like? What type of woman is she? What does she really like to do? And you realize the things that she actually likes to do, you haven't done it yet. And the real question is, why, and what are you waiting for? Third thing that I would do is become someone that I can trust. That means following through on my word, having self-respect, being accountable for my actions, having integrity, and staying consistent. Your morals and your values play a major part in being that girl. So take time to really reflect and see, who are you? What kind of flaws are you experiencing from a character standpoint, and how can you improve on that, right? None of us are perfect. I'm actually in a season right now where I am so aware of who I am. I am so aware and intentional with the moves that I make, the words that I say, the habits that I implement. I'm just woke, y'all. I'm really woke. So with that being said, I am constantly taking accountability for my actions, what I say, what I do. I am constantly pausing before I respond to someone or react to something that I don't like. I am constantly in the headspace of, how do you want to go about this? The type of woman that you're becoming, how would she respond or handle these type of situations, right? For example, yesterday here in the Chicagoland area, there were 2 storms back to back, and it tore up a lot of the cities, and to the point where we are currently without power. We've been notified that power may be restored by tomorrow afternoon or all the way until Friday night. So imagine people who are so privileged with having power every day, navigating through days without power, people who have children, the elderly, businesses who doesn't have power. Imagine how they are navigating and handling these situations. So when the power went out yesterday, I took a moment to pause. And I'm like, you know what? No, we don't have any power, but I have life. I have water, I have food, I have shelter, I have a phone, I have ways to communicate, I have a peaceful mind, right? I have health, I have the ability to help others in the community. So instead of panicking or complaining or saying the things that I wish that I had and just being in a negative headspace, I chose to respond as the woman that I am becoming, the energy, the identity that I am embodying. A woman who appreciates the little things. A woman who doesn't take for granted what she is given on a daily basis. The mere fact that there is a crisis happening in the world around me right now, and I am still choosing to stick to my routine of recording my podcast on the day that I'm supposed to record my podcast, of following through with my content creation routine, and just still sticking with the flow and not being affected with what is happening around me, says a lot about the growth. Says a lot about the type of person that I am becoming. So your morals, your values, they play a huge part in your character. And you want to make sure that you are mindful of who you are building up. What version of you are you actually transforming into? Is it someone that you like? The quickest way to build confidence is to become someone who believes her own word. And even better, don't just talk about it, but make sure you have the action that follows through with whatever it is that you're speaking on. Now, let's shift our mindset. I want you to repeat after me. I do not need permission to become her. It is time to release the comparison, right? We're done comparing ourselves with everyone else. We're done comparing our journey with others. We're done comparing our success with others. We're done comparing. It is time to own your own journey. It is time to choose yourself and stop waiting for someone to validate the life that you are trying to create. This is a personal journey, love. This is between you and God. You have to go within to really do the work. Now, the second mindset shift, I want you to repeat after me. Discipline is an act of self-love. You have to show up consistently. You cannot just write the plan or have the vision and not take the action. You have to literally be consistent and committed to the journey, because that is the only way you're really going to see the results that you are looking for. And remember, this is a long-term vision, so don't expect to have results immediately or overnight. This is something that's going to take time. It's like cooking a meal. You have to gather all the ingredients. The ingredients are your morals, your values, your intentions, the vision. What is it that you're cooking up? You have to look and see how you're going to prepare this meal so that it tastes right. Take your time and trust the process, because the version of you that you admire the most, she isn't more motivated, she is more committed. Now, let's get into these relatable scenarios. The first one is the person who copies everyone else's routines instead of creating her own. She's on Instagram scrolling. She has a favorite influencer. She sees what the influencer does. She wants to replicate the same exact thing. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I am saying is your journey is not the same as hers. Your journey is not the same as mine. So my routines may look completely different than yours. And that's a good thing. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Personalize your routines to match the lifestyle that aligns with the woman that you are becoming. The second relatable scenario is the person who looks like you got it together, but deep down you feel disconnected. Everything looks good on the outside, but internally you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, and you're inconsistent. The real glow up starts within. You have to be willing to do that inner work. It's not going to always feel good. It's not going to always look good. But I'm telling you, alignment matters way more than appearances. You must be willing to do the work. And the third scenario is the person who is constantly breaking promises to themselves. Okay, I'll fill y'all in on a little something. So there's one habit that I want to let go of, but I'm learning that I am easily influenced to repeat the habit when I'm in certain environments. And it came to my recollection yesterday, and I'm like, nah, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this no more. So I'm holding myself accountable. I'm calling myself out, because I don't want to break a promise to myself anymore. When it comes to the change that I want to make, I am standing on business, and I'm not going to allow temptation to influence me to do things that I don't want to do. And I'm also not going to be weak-minded and not stand on business and just fall for it anyways. Absolutely not. Every promise you keep strengthens the trust that you have in yourself. Now, for these relatable points, this is where you want to take notes. Becoming that girl starts with identity, not aesthetic. Small habits create lasting confidence. Wellness is more than workouts. It's how you care for yourself on a daily basis. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a realistic one. Discipline isn't a form of punishment. It is self-respect. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. The most attractive quality that girl can have is consistency. Now let's get into these reflective questions. This is where I really want you to evaluate yourself and go within. Ask yourself, when I picture that girl, what qualities am I actually admiring? Which daily habit would make the biggest difference if I actually committed to it? Am I chasing an aesthetic, or am I building a lifestyle? What is one promise I've been breaking to myself? How would I treat myself if I truly believed that I am worthy of the life that I want? Woo, that's a real good one. And what does main character energy really look like in my real life, not on social media? Your actionable step for this week is to choose one habit that the highest version of yourself would do and implement it in your life every day for 7 days straight. I want you to take note, reflect, and really push yourself to follow through with it. You don't become that girl because one day you wake up feeling confident. You become her because day after day you make decisions that aligns with who you are becoming. It starts with one workout. It starts with one habit. It starts with keeping one promise to yourself. That's how your ordinary days become an extraordinary life. Thank you for hanging out with me today on the Pretty Aligned podcast. I hope something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective or a new way to see yourself. Remember, small shifts create big change. If you love today's conversation, share it with a friend who needs it, and make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss the next reset. Until then, keep aligning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of you. I'll see you in the next episode.